Hello everyone, I'm Arglefump. This is a review for Almost There. It's Twisted Tales number 13. This one is based on The Princess and the Frog. The premise is that at the end of the movie, Princess and the Frog, Tiana makes a deal with the Shadow Man. Dr. Facilier basically agrees to give her everything she wants. She gets to have her own restaurant. Louis is human, so he can be a great jazz musician. Her father is alive. That's the main one. What if Tiana made a deal to bring her father back to life? Two drawbacks. Tiana has to put a little potion into every dish of gumbo she serves. Number two, Prince Naveen won't remember anything. He doesn't remember being a frog. He doesn't remember Tiana. He doesn't remember the big adventure. Well, Tiana says yes, and we get to see her in her new life, and it is pretty interesting. It is awkward. She has to deal with Naveen because Naveen is best friends with Charlotte. We're told that, Naveen and Charlotte dated for a while, but things didn't really work out between them. But, they're amicable exes, and he's got a job working for Big Daddy Sugar Company. And I didn't really like Naveen much in the movie. I don't like him much in this book. He's got the same personality. He just kind of comes across as a dope to me. He's got a good heart, and boy, is he really charming. So this author was a romance novelist. Probably still is a romance novelist. That's the background of the author. And so, as you could probably guess, we got a romance novelist to write a book. There's going to be a lot of romance in this particular book. So it's like a year later and cracks are starting to show. Naveen's kind of remembering what happened. He's not sure. He just gets bits and pieces of memory coming back to him. He knows he likes Tiana, and he's been trying to pursue Tiana, but every time she sees him, she kind of runs away. And so the first part of the book, he's like trying to get close to Tiana. He has to be an emergency jazz musician for the band that plays at her restaurant. Yeah. And other cracks are starting to show too. Like there's this weird fog rolling in, and just slime covers the entire river, and it gets worse and worse as it goes on. Now, Dr. Facilier basically he learns two different things, and one of them I thought was kind of silly, was that, remember he says Tiana has to put a couple of drops of something inside every dish of gumbo she serves. That was a trick on his part. It's sort of like this brainwashing potion, and he wants to use it so he can take advantage of Big Daddy. He wants to take control of the sugar empire in New Orleans, which is what he wanted to do in the movie. But it takes him a year to realize that it isn't working. He just thinks, oh, Big Daddy must be immune to the potion. It's not really working. Why not? And it takes him a year to realize Big Daddy just doesn't like gumbo. He doesn't eat gumbo when he goes to the restaurant. So Dr. Facilier has been following Big Daddy to the restaurant every single time he goes there, which it sounds like it's like every week, every Friday or so. And it takes him like almost a year to realize, wait, my gumbo potion isn't working because this guy isn't eating gumbo. And Dr. Facilier, he kind of messes up when trying to get Tiana to like put it in every single dish. He tries to change the terms of the agreement. And that's sort of when he finds out the bad news for him, which is that his friends on the other side say in this particular case, a verbal agreement doesn't cut it. They need Tiana's signature on the agreement. Otherwise, it expires in a year, and they'll steal Dr. Facilier's soul. And so he really tries to ramp up the stuff. So he's like kidnapping Tiana's friends, trying to force her into signing the contract. He's giving her like fake visions of what happens. And so Tiana realizes the only thing she can do is go into the bayou, find Mama Odie, and Mama Odie can help. And this takes up like I'd say like 100 to 150 pages. Tiana and her friends, Louis, Naveen, and Charlotte, all go on a boat into the bayou, and they're there for like 100 to 150 pages, and that's where we have most of the romantic stuff, because Tiana can't avoid Naveen anymore. They have to deal with each other because they're literally in the same boat together. And I liked it. I thought the romance stuff was good. It is sort of like the movie, though, because that's a big part of the movie, is them in the bayou together, and learning to fall in love with each other and like each other, and it sort of plays out the same way. And you could argue that's a problem with the book, is that Dr. Facilier can't do anything while they're in the bayou, because he's in town doing other stuff. We do get a little bit of his backstory, which I thought was interesting, just a touch. I would compare it to the other Twisted Tales books, where like the villain's backstory takes up 200 pages, or like half the book. I think it was better. This one was better. We only needed like 1 to 2 chapters, just a little bit of backstory for Dr. Facilier. And really, I did like how Tiana and Dr. Facilier are sort of like the main characters for the first 70 to 100 pages. I don't think Naveen gets to narrate a chapter. It is a third-person narrative, but each chapter switches focus. So we've got Tiana chapters, Dr. Facilier chapters, and Naveen chapters. And I really thought that Dr. Facilier and Tiana were the most interesting characters of the original movie. So I think it's good that they basically control the narrative for the first, 100 pages or so. Yeah. I also like how the book deals with racism, especially in terms of Charlotte coming to a realization. She not only has rich privilege, she has white privilege. And I feel like the book addressed that better than the movie did. It could be a bit more direct, I believe. I think it could deal with the topic more thoroughly and better. Because it's a book for older readers, it's marketed as a more serious book, and so it can go into stuff like racism in ways that the original movie did not, and so I thought that was really good. There's no Mama Odie, though. That's a downside. They reach Mama Odie's, and Mama Odie isn't there. Instead, her, niece is there, and her niece kind of does, a healing potion because Prince Naveen hurt his hand, and then they go back, and then, our substitute for Mama Odie is one of Tiana's friends who showed up quite a bit in the first part of the book. And, she happens to be a real practitioner of voodoo. She thinks Dr. Facilier is, in this fake evil stuff. And we did see that in the movie. He's really into more, card tricks and fooling people. And that is actually in the book, too. It's he does deal with some weird, creepy stuff, but he also does a lot of just charlatan stuff. Selling people fake potions and that sort of thing. Well, whereas, oh man, I'm totally blanking on her name. Whereas the woman who helps, does not do that. She is legitimate. So she kind of, helps give Tiana advice, and There's a big showdown with Tiana and Dr. Facilier, and Tiana manages to pull... Oh! I'm forgetting, at this part, the advice deals with Tiana's dad. She's basically like, hey, Tiana, you want to fix the situation? You're going to have to reset the universe. You're going to have to set things right by letting go of your father. You're going to have to allow your father to die. And this is around the time her father just suddenly starts aging, 10 years every hour, and so she is kind of forced to have a tearful goodbye with her father to set things right. And then after that, she has a big showdown with Dr. Facilier, where she kind of fools him into thinking that she knows he's got a great big ego. So she fools him into thinking that he has tricked her and he's in control of the situation, and she's going to sign the contract. But no, and it's also this potion. So she pretends the potion has been changed, but nope, it hasn't. It's just his original potion. And on the contract, she writes "Goodbye, Shadow Man" instead of her own name, and I thought that was a cute little trick there. Okay, I'm coming up on 10 minutes. I don't want to make this video too long, so I think I'll wrap things up there. That's basically where it ends. Things go back to normal. Prince Naveen, I believe he gets his memory back. People did have questions about that. We get a scene 3 months later where Naveen takes everybody back home to his home kingdom to meet his parents, and he tells his parents he really likes Tiana. And then we get a scene which is a year later where Tiana and Naveen are married, and she's still working very hard on her restaurant. And of course, it's a happy ending because it's a Disney book, even if this is a twisted, creepy version. It was really sad that she had to see her dad die after going through so much to bring him back. So I thought this was a good book. I liked it. I'd recommend it. I thought it was good. Thanks for watching my review. If this sounds like something you'd be interested in, I'd say, hey, check it out. I liked it better than some of the other Twisted Tales books, especially the ones that, like I said, will give like 100 pages of backstory to the villain, or they'll spend 100 pages summarizing the events of the movies.